You're probably wondering how this woman went from this to this. Well, that was me. Ever met someone so charming, so confident that you felt like you'd finally found the love of your life? My story began the day I met Nigeria's very own James Bond, or at least that's who I thought he was. It was a hot, busy afternoon in Lagos back in 2012. I was managing my fashion boutique in Ikea when he walked in. His name was Chinedu. He was tall, dark, and when he smiled, my heart just melted. He said he came to buy shirts, but we ended up talking for almost an hour. He was funny, sharp, and so charming. Queen Amaka is what he used to call me. And before he left, he asked for my number. Honestly, I didn't even hesitate. Now, I wasn't some naive young woman. At the time, I was 45 years old, independent, successful, and doing very well for myself. Chinedu was 32, 13 years younger than me. But his confidence, the way he spoke, it just drew me in. He made me feel alive again. We started talking everyday morning calls, midnight chats, and before I knew it, we were dating. He told me he was a wealthy businessman dealing in oil, construction, and real estate. He was always traveling Dubai today, London tomorrow. He'd casually drop names of ministers, generals, even celebrities. He'd say, "Amaka, I'm not like these other Lagos men. I move with people who matter." And I believed him. He took me to fancy restaurants in Victoria Island, always opened my car door and whispered promises of forever. After years of being alone, I really thought I'd finally found my peace. But behind that handsome face and charming smile was a liar, a married man, and a professional scammer. He had a wife and 2 children back in Amaka, not far from my place in Maryland. Sometimes he'd disappear for days, no calls, no messages. When I'd ask him where he was, he'd sigh and say, "Babe, my work is complicated. I can't talk about it." It was all very mysterious. Then one night, he looked at me with serious eyes and said, "Amaka, I think you deserve to know the truth. I'm not really a businessman. I work for the DSS, the DSS Nigeria's Secret Service." He explained that the business trips were just a cover for his intelligence missions. He couldn't tell me too much, he said, for my own safety. And to make me believe him, one day he drove me to the DSS headquarters in Abuja. When we got there, he casually waved at the guards like he knew them and walked right in, full of confidence. I sat in the car just thinking, wow, my man really works for the government. From that day on, I never doubted him again. Every time he disappeared, I'd tell myself he's on a mission. He'd come back limping, sometimes with bandages on his arm. Once he called and claimed he'd been shot in Port Hackett. Another time he said he had a brain injury from an undercover mission. And I believed him, 'cause when you love someone, logic doesn't always stand a chance. Then came the big ask. One evening, he told me he was tired. He wanted to retire from the DSS and go into real estate full-time. "Babe, I just need a little help to start," he said. I had just sold my father's old house and had about 40 million naira in savings. So when he asked for 5 million, I gave it to him, then another 10 million, then more and more. Before I knew what was happening, I had given him over 400 million naira. He used my money to buy cars, rent luxury apartments, and even pay his children's school fees. He even proposed to me, bought me a ring, and said we'd move into a penthouse in Lakia, penthouse he rented with my money. He convinced me to quit my job, telling me, "You don't need to work again. You're my queen." Slowly, he started isolating me from everyone. He said my friends were jealous and my family didn't want me to be happy. So I pushed them away and believed him, until the day he disappeared for good. No calls, no messages. His phones were switched off. I rushed to his apartment and it was empty. He was gone. That's when it all hit me. There was no DSS, no business, no marriage plans. I had been scammed. I completely broke down. Couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. I felt like my world had ended. But somehow, I found the strength to report him to the EFCC. That's when I learned the devastating truth. Chinedu had scammed other women too, using the exact same story, the same lies. He was wanted in Abuja, Port Harcourt, even Ghana. Eventually, they caught him in Accra, where he was pretending to be an African Union security consultant. He was extradited back to Nigeria, charged, and sentenced to 5 years in prison. But of course, Chinedu wasn't done. He applied for early release, and the moment he got out, he disappeared again. Interpol believes he fled to South Africa with a new identity, and to this day, no one has seen him. As for me, I'm still rebuilding. I lost my savings, my job, and my trust in people. But I did not lose my soul. Learned that love without truth is just another scam, and that sometimes the people who look like heroes are just villains in disguise. So if you ever meet a man who says he works for the DSS, just smile and run. 'Cause I already fell for Nigeria's James Bond, and he almost destroyed me. Think this was wild? Wait till you hear about the man from Cape Town that used to disguise as a pilot and using fake flight tickets. All coming up on this very channel. Stay safe out there.